Chapter 14. The Fix-It truck speeds through the slow morning traffic streets of Midville, taking corners tight, drifting wide onto turns, and roaring full throttle down straightaways. Watson wraps his arms around his universal strength peanut butter bubblegum boxes. He wonders out loud, should that light on the dashboard be blinking red? Grandpa Al gives his gauges a quick glance as he leans into the next turn. Oh yeah, he says. This engine's like to run hot. It's a regular NASCAR 850 horsepower V8. We're talking squawk! Whine the truck tires on the turn. Around 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, just like I used to run in my stock car racing days. You never told me you used to race stock cars, says Frank, surprised once again by something he doesn't know about his Grandpa Al. Grandpa Al smiles. You never asked. He passes two cars on the Oak Street straightaway, downshifts into an S-turn, and passes two more cars coming out high. But hey, how are you sure you don't want to look for Clink and Clank now? You don't have to do this science prize for me. I'm sure, says Frank, grabbing the door handle as Grandpa Al brakes hard and fishtails 90 degrees right on Main Street. I am going to win this prize. Then we can look for Clink and Clank, if you can get us there on time. Grandpa Al checks his Navy dive watch and gives Frank a nod. Roger that. And while you guys are in there kicking butt, I'll be getting started looking for Clink and Clank. Grandpa Al floors it past the Midville Cemetery, blows by the courthouse plaza, and weaves around a gold minivan, a blue station wagon, and a pokey red pickup truck. Still going full speed, he yanks up the emergency brake and pulls the steering wheel hard left. The truck locks all four wheels and skids sideways to a full stop perfectly curbside right in front of City Hall. Tires smoking just a little bit. Hit the beach, guys! Frank and Watson pile out of the truck. Watson lugs his boxes of gum and poster board display. Frank grabs his ultralight Antimatter Motor fly bike. Together, they race up the wide stadium steps of the white marbled and many-columned City Hall building into a swarm of kids carrying working eye models, prime number charts, fruit fly genetics displays, blown-up earthworm dissections, a poster of photon and positron emissions from a black hole, solar panels, optical illusions, and, yes, baking soda volcanoes. The herd of 100 kid scientists pours into the high-ceilinged cavern of the main hall under the enormous banner of the sponsor, Grabco. Each scientist checks in with Grabco officials, receiving a Grabco Science Prize contestant badge, and is directed to a numbered spot in the maze of tables filling the patterned marbled floor. The packed main hall hums like some kind of gargantuan beehive filled with a swarm of kid-sized buzzing bees setting up, comparing projects, talking science. In spot 338B, Watson arranges the finishing touch, the final piece of his universal strength peanut butter bubblegum, on a very attractive pyramid display. In spot 403A, Frank Einstein adjusts his antimatter motor flybike diagram. And that's when the lights suddenly go out. A surprised hush quiets the roaring buzz. A squeal of feedback echoes around the hall. A single spotlight pops on a raised stage, illuminating two men in bow-tied tuxedos. A voice booms, "Ladies and gentlemen, scientists! Welcome to the 50th Annual Grabco Science Prize. I'm Adam Johnson, president of Grabco, and we have a surprise announcement. Probably the biggest surprise we've ever had in our 50 years of awarding the Grabco Science Prize. Mr. Mayor?" The one tuxedoed man gives the microphone to the other. The mayor coughs nervously into the mic. We, have this announcement. Someone says something to the mayor. Oh, yes. I'm Mr. Mayor, also the mayor of Midville, so you can call me Mayor. No one except Grabco President Adam Johnson laughs. Everyone has heard this from Mayor before, and it is never funny. Well, okay then. This morning, we got to see an invention so amazing. We are so sure it is going to change the world that we, just had to, award the science prize this year without even seeing any of the other entries to this young man, T. Edison. The assembled crowd gasps in surprise. A kid in an old-fashioned coat and tie steps into the spotlight and grabs the microphone. He speaks quickly to drown out the rising protest and boos. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and GRAPCO President Mr. Johnson. I want to congratulate all you budding scientists for being here, but I really have created the best invention ever. That stinks! Someone yells. Edison speeds quickly to his point. A motor that combines matter and antimatter and produces almost unlimited energy from a single drop of water. Across the rows of science projects, Frank Einstein and Watson lock eyes. No, says Frank to no one in particular, but to the whole world at large. Boo! Yells a voice in the crowd. That's not fair! Yells another voice. Prove it! Yells another. A small, powerful, hairy figure in pinstripe pants and bare feet walks to the edge of the stage, stares out into the crowd, and appears to smile. It's Mr. Chimp. Mr. Chimp walks to one side of the stage and pulls on a gold-tasseled rope. The red curtains behind him swoosh open and display a small, brightly lit silver motor on a pedestal. Next to it lies what looks like the prong end of the biggest extension cord in the world. With this drop of water, Edison booms over the noise of the restless crowd, I will supply power to all of Midville for the entire year for free. The murmurings of the crowd turn a bit brighter. And, since I am such a nice guy, I will share my $100,000 GRAPCO Science Prize with everyone here, giving every one of you, my fellow scientists, $1,000 each. Now the crowd outright cheers. No, 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 says Frank Einstein. Edison makes a big show of walking over to the silver machine and placing a single drop of water into its fuel tank. Mr. Chimp, plug in all of Midville power and light. Let the free energy flow. And, fellow scientists, tell everyone you know that you have seen the wonder of the Edison Antimatter Motor. So if you take a look on page 125, you can see a picture of lots of buildings in black, and the red is energy that Edison is putting into everyone's homes and into all of the buildings. But we really know where that antimatter came from, don't we? Yeah, he stole it from Frank. Let's turn to page 126. Mr. Chimp inserts the massive plug into the socket connected to the Edison Antimatter Motor. The lights in the Great Hall blaze back on. The national anthem blares from every speaker. Parachute-sized red, white, and blue banners unfurl from the ceiling. A 40-foot bank of LED lights covering one wall blinks alternately. Free, safe, and clean energy. The Edison Antimatter Motor. Now the crowd, all but two, goes completely crazy. Someone on stage, actually Edison himself, starts a chant in a poorly disguised voice. Edison, Edison, Edison. $1,000 for every kid here, Edison reminds the crowd. And don't forget to pick up your GRAPCO Science Prize Certificate of Participation. Edison, Edison, Edison. The Midville Science Prize contestants surge happily toward the stage to get their payoff and join the chant. Edison! 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 They are curling back their lips and showing a lot of teeth. This worries Mr. Chimp. Why does this worry Mr. Chimp, everyone? Because when chimps curl their teeth back, they look like they're smiling, but they're about to do something terrible. So Mr. Chimp thinks that the kids that are smiling are about to do something terrible too. Frank lifts his antimatter motor flyback onto his display table to avoid getting swept forward by the waves of kids flooding toward the stage. He looks for Watson, but even Watson is gone. Heading for the stage? And his $1,000? Frank Einstein straddles his bike and fires up its antimatter motor with the touch of a single button. He looks over his shoulder in disgust at the cheering crowd still chanting Edison's name. He leans forward and zooms off above the tables, over the risers, and right through the Midville, a lovely place stained glass window with a sharp crash and a shattering of glass that almost no one even hears or sees.